Alright chat, in the last video I renovated my mid-century modern home and I turned it from looking like absolute garbage from 2018 to a 5-course meal in 2025. And today we're gonna finish the interior for the house. And in the last video I asked you guys in the comment section below to let me know if I should demolish all of the walls or at least keep some of them. And the vote is actually really split. A lot of you guys want to see me tear up the inside, but a lot of you guys also want to see me keep the inside because then it's not a renovation. So I guess I'll stay true to the renovation part and I'll just try to extend some of the walls. But yeah, this is what we have from last time. As you can see, it's very scuffed on the interior because nothing has been touched yet, but we will be touching it today. Pause. So starting out, I went over to Pinterest to look for some mid-century modern inspiration, and I've created a really small pin page. And basically what I can deduce from this is that mid-century modern homes are not exactly colorful, but they are filled with color. As you can see, they're not exactly colorful, but they're filled with color. And I don't exactly know how that translates into my building, but we're just gonna have to find out. And one thing I'm gonna do with my renovation is actually use some of the bloxburg items that we have that are mid-century modern, because the whole point of the entire build being mid-century modern was to showcase the new furniture items at the time. Where do I find the items? Yeah, see, we got this mid chair and we got this mid couch, and then we also have this mid table, and then we also have that mid TV stand, but you get the point. So let's begin. So starting out, the first thing we're actually going to do is replace some of the walls that I deleted for thumbnail purposes. And guys, midway through I kind of got intrusive thoughts and I actually didn't replace the two walls and I just knocked the two other ones behind it down. So I guess it's not a renovation anymore. Look guys, I know we're off to a rough start, but hear me out, it's gonna turn out looking amazing. See, what matters is that we keep every room where it is. So the kitchen is where the kitchen will be in the end, and the living room is where the living room will be in the end. All right, you know what guys, scratch that. I actually ended up moving the dining room over to a different area. It's gonna go in this giant spot that I'm clearing out, so I guess it's a full-on rebuild now. But for those of you that are gonna come at me for saying, oh, I just destroyed everything and rebuilt it and I didn't renovate it, well, I at least kept the entire right side untouched, so you're welcome. It's at least 50% renovation. But anyway, we're gonna start with the renovation at the front of the house where you enter. And originally this was just the entryway and then the laundry room, and so now we're changing that. We completely destroyed the two walls and I'm gonna turn it into the entryway and a dining room instead, so that way we have a little more space for the kitchen at the back later. But starting out, we're gonna call something I call a quirky build hack. And I actually got inspiration from one of the houses that I toured in one of the rating houses, but the server resets every 10 minutes. I don't know if you guys are gonna remember, but there was this mid-century modern home and it had this really cool colorful backdrop. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find it, but if I do end up finding it, I will leave the link in the description. But if you're gonna imagine something, just imagine 4 different ladders and then a bunch of vases and books and other miscellaneous items on top. And this is gonna be something that separates the two rooms. Very mid. So as you can see, I'm building it out of basic shapes and just transforming a bunch of platforms up and down. And I went for this uneven staggering pattern, which I thought was very mid. You know, low-key, even after just building this and referencing a bunch of mid-century modern pictures, I still don't know what mid-century modern means. What even is mid-century? Can someone actually give me a full-on rundown in the comment section below? I'd actually really appreciate that. But anyways, after finishing this shelving unit, I just moved it back in, and then this was basically the thing that split up the two rooms after entering the entire house. It's a little cramped out at the front, but I guess it's okay. You don't need that much space to take off your shoes and whatnot. Plus the doors open funky, so you can do it. Anyways, moving on to the big room back here. I moved the dining table over just to get a sense of how big it would be, and then I started working on this second little shelving thing. Or it's not even a shelving thing. I literally just made this, and I guess you could call it a frame. Low-key, I don't know what I was thinking when I was building this, so if you ask me any questions, I probably can't answer you, but it looked cool, so we're gonna put it here. But anyways, after finishing that thingy-mabobber, I moved on to painting it and then over to the dining room in its entirety. And the main goal for this renovation was to keep as many of the mid-century modern bloxburg items that I can. So right here, I tried reusing the mid-century modern lights, and I actually think they were pretty successful. I even did this weird thing with a chain and then the wiring that goes up to the ceiling. I don't know, I spent way too much time on this and I definitely can't get that time back. Sometimes when I build, I feel like I waste a lot of time. Like this entire process of you watching me build 2 lights is taking me maybe 30 minutes or maybe even an hour. And the entire recording footage was like 2 hours and 30 minutes. So that's actually kind of a record time. You know, they call me the speed builder in real time, or maybe just the lazy builder. Anyways, moving over to the kitchen at the back, I really had no idea how I was gonna build this just because it was such an awkward space. Like I had this very open concept plan can, but I also didn't want the kitchen to be too open concept. So what I did was I extended a couple of the walls out just to, one, clean things up, and two, make it seem like there's a wall that divides the two spaces, because that's always nice to have separate spaces. And I was actually kind of surprised. I had a lot of fixing upping to do. I guess that just means I'm a really messy builder, but in the end it turned out okay. Guys, I'm contemplating on whether or not I should release a full speed build of this, or actually just try and push for this to be on the bloxburg pre-built marketplace, or whatever you call it. Probably leaning towards posting a speed build, because I know the bloxburg developers are probably not going to accept this, just because I use so many basic shapes and transform tool stuff. It's just not a pre-built home. It just doesn't feel like a pre-built home. And I know bloxburg's trying to move this way and kind of have more detailed builds out there, but I honestly just can't see this getting out there. But another reason why I don't want to post a speed build is because it's really hard to follow, and you're gonna see why. Like, I feel like even just watching me build right now is really hard to follow, because I just bounce back and forth everywhere I go. And then also some of the things and techniques I use are kind of unorthodox. Like, some are really impractical, like the roof thing in the last video. I guess it's just a really complicated thing. But back on topic, I'm gonna talk about the kitchen. See how there's this really long space, but it kind of shifts? So there's two 3x3 spaces, but there's not actually two 2x3 spaces that are lined up together. That's why this was difficult. And I really wanted to extend this island all the way into that glass box, but I decided not to, just because there wasn't enough space between the counters and that little partitioning wall. So I left the kitchen a little smaller than usual, but I guess that's okay. I also decided to use some of the new retro items, because I thought it was fitting of the name Retro Revival. I don't know if the retro items are exactly mid-century modern. I honestly don't know why mid-century modern hasn't been extended. Like, the entire set of items that they have, I feel like the next update should definitely focus on expanding that, because bro, there's literally 7 items and is one table, one chair, and then another chair, and then some lights. Like, what am I gonna do with that? So if you're gonna come at me and say I didn't use enough mid-century modern items, then that's the reason. There just aren't enough mid-century modern items. And to be fair, I think I did a pretty good job with the interior. There's just some things I would probably change. Plus, it was really late and I'm getting tired. It's really late right now too. It's like 12 midnight and I'm recording this, and I need to get this done for tomorrow, or whenever you're seeing this. See, me personally, I'm not one of those overnight warriors, those people that just have infinite energy, especially when it comes to nighttime. You know, some people just work better in the day, some people just work better in the night. I'm not one of those night people. I need my beauty sleep. And to make matters worse, I'm not even a morning person either. So I'm not a night or morning person, so I'm not very productive at any time in the day. So that's great. You know that stereotype for architecture students and architects where they don't get any sleep? I'm one of those people that haven't pulled a single all-nighter in my entire 2 years of studying architecture. And to be fair, it's only been 2 years and it's very preliminary right now. But I think the second I get into the upper years, I'm gonna be pulling all-nighters. Oh yeah, and I've never had a Red Bull. Actually, no, I've tried a Red Bull, but I've never depended on energy drinks. And that's because I'm scared that if I drink energy drinks, it's gonna make my heart palpitate and I'm gonna die. So me personally, I'm an avid coffee drinker. You'll never see me chugging an energy drink. They're way too scary. But low-key at the same time, coffee doesn't work on me anymore. I don't know if anyone else gets that. But anyways, we're getting off topic, back to building. To summarize everything that I've built while I was yapping, I basically finished up the kitchen and then made this small dining room area because, you know, what's better than one dining room than 2 dining rooms? Yeah, no, I think I lost the plot with this renovation. It is now a new day and I've started my renovation on the right side of the house. And like I said earlier, I didn't chuck as many of the walls as I could on this side, so it's more of a renovation than the left side. So I first began by widening some of the walls. As you can see, I've put a basic shape in the middle of it and then I've just resized it just to make all the walls flush with each other, because I had a lot of weird places, like up here in the roof, where the walls just didn't line up with each other. Oh wait, no, I take it back. I just chucked all the walls in the office. But it's still a renovation because it's still the office space. Like, I don't change where the office is, so that's good. So starting with the office, one of the easier rooms to renovate, it's just an office, and I actually didn't touch many of the things here. I just deleted the table and replaced it, and then I put the electronics back on, and that was pretty much it. Oh yeah, and I also put a plant in the corner because these are nice plants. But yeah, with the office out of the way, now it's time to actually start moving the walls. And as you can see, I've extended this one by one block out for the bathroom just because I thought that was kind of necessary, and also because the wall upstairs is lining up with that one. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm gonna try to make it make sense. If you put it like this, there was very much intention behind this. So starting with the 1x1 space, I built the frame again that I used in the dining room, and I put it in the bathroom because I thought it was a good way to split up the toilet from the rest of the bathroom. You know, I've been on a run with these private toilet suites lately, especially in the cabin too. I don't know if you guys have watched that video, but I built a like entire room for the toilet. And that's kind of what I'm going for here. You know, who doesn't love some private toilet space so you can scroll on your phone for the next hour or two? Sometimes I'll literally sit on the toilet just to sit on the toilet and scroll on my phone. Like, nothing will come out of my booty hole. That might be too much information. But anyways, finishing up the washroom, we also had to extend the walls in here because everything is extended upwards because we have hollow space upwards. So it's looking a little janky right now, but it looks fine. It looks fine. Now, unfortunately, I didn't reference any mid-century modern inspiration for the bathroom, so if it doesn't look mid-century modern, then my apologies. But to be fair, it does keep some of the layout that I had in the first place, so that's a big W for me. So now we're moving on to my favoriteest room in the entire house, the living room. I don't know about you guys, but when I toured it in the first video, I just got some insane vibes from this room. Like, everything about it was perfect, down to the last inch, centimeter, whatever you use. It's just perfect. So I started with extending the walls upward once again because we have hollow space, and then from then on I just used the same furniture items that I had in the first place, which were the couch items and the lamps. But one thing I did do was I copied and pasted the shelving unit, or the dividing element that we had in the dining room, and I pasted that into the living room because I thought it was a really cool storage unit, and I thought it really matched with the wall right there. And then just resizing some items to get everything to fit. I really wanted to try and go for like a minimalistic feeling in here. Like, I didn't want to go too detailed, but at the same time I kind of feel like I could go more detailed. I don't know. I definitely should have put pillows on the couch and maybe some blankets or whatnot, but the main goal was to get everything that was in here in the first place back in here. And so once I got that done, I moved over to the TV console, and I did this really creative thing with a basic shape, and I just transformed it downwards, and it was like a concrete slab that you could just place your TV on, and it was like a perfect table for it. And then everything else in here is pretty self-explanatory. The lights, the lamp, the table, nothing too special, but it all just works so well together. So with that out of the way, I moved on to working on the bedroom, and it was around this time that I started losing motivation to finish this. Or actually, not really, because this first bedroom actually had windows. You know, all bedrooms are supposed to have windows, and the one downstairs doesn't have a window, so maybe we're gonna do something else with that. But there was something about this room that was similar to the living room, and I really wanted to keep it minimalistic again. Or actually, it wasn't really that I wanted to keep it minimalistic, but it just looked better minimalistic. Like, if I cluttered it way too much, then it would look kind of jank. So to be fair, all I renovated in this room was absolutely nothing. Maybe I put some pillows on the bed, and then maybe I just rearranged some furniture items, but everything else is pretty similar to what it was before. And then the same goes for the bathroom in here. The same items that I used in the first bathroom were just copied and pasted into this bathroom, and that's very self-explanatory, so I won't cover that too much. And so we finally moved down to the basement, and I was actually losing motivation here because I don't know, I just don't like the basements. I just feel like basements have no room for windows, and everywhere in the house should have windows except for maybe the bathroom. So I guess one thing I would improve on this entire renovation would be probably the elevation outside, so I could actually get some windows in the basement. Like, what if I just sunk the ground outside using stairs and basic shapes, and then I could actually have windows that peer outside on the basement? Yeah, I'm nerding out again, but to be fair, the basement renovation was pretty simple. It was the exact same stuff copied and pasted. The crates, the framing, the doors, and everything. The bathroom back there used the exact same items as the bathrooms upstairs. I guess the only thing I'll comment on is that one room that I turned from bedroom to studio. Oh well, I mean, I guess I relocated the laundry room because I put the laundry stuff down here instead, which I think was a good touch. I think having your laundry machines downstairs is a pretty good idea. Definitely makes a lot less noise. But yeah, back to the studio. It was a 3x3 bedroom initially, and I actually tried putting a bed in here, but it honestly didn't work. So I decided to gut the entire thing and go for a new approach. And I first started with these wall paneling things. I really wish they added those acoustic panels because I know they have them in the Bloxburg theater. I guess it's only a matter of time until they do add them. But I basically tried making an acoustic wall, and then I placed a couple of carpets and then some instruments as well because, you know, it's a studio that I'm trying to go for. I will say though, one thing they did add in the Bloxburg update were Valentine's items. And you know what we do on Valentine's Day? We wake up. Yeah, so happy Valentine's Day to all the single people out there. Wink wink, nudge nudge. But to finish off the studio, I just placed the desk that had the computer upstairs down here instead. You know, just to have two separate workstations, one for like, you know, the open atmosphere, and then one down here for like privacy and whatnot. And then to wrap it all up, a studio needs some soundproofing, so I put some glass doors, which aren't very soundproofing, but you know, it works. It works. And that was pretty much it for my renovation. I guess it's time to tour this thing. Alright, so after about 2 hours of working on the interior, I think it's finally complete, and I took a couple of creative liberties because now I'm not working under restrictions. But the retro revival renovation is finally complete. It's worth 370k, so I don't think it's that bad considering the car is like 50k, so That's like 320k. Whether or not you can afford it, it's a starter home renovation. So I guess we'll take a look at the inside. You've already seen the exterior. The exterior is still so beautiful, and I really hope the interior lives up to the expectations. Oops. All right, quickly fixing that. I'll walk through the entire house as it is right now. I don't know if I'm too happy with it, but I guess I could say I'm happy with it. I think I did a lot of custom good stuff. So walking into the entrance, we have our little nook and cranny where you can put your shoes and stuff, and then switch into your slippers, hang your coats and jackets and whatnot. And then I thought I would make this creative. I don't know what this is. It's like a partitioning element, and then we got them colored glass panels because I thought that was very mid-century modern. But to be fair, I don't know what mid-century modern really is, so oops. And originally this was a laundry room up here, and then I divided it into a corridor over here as well, but now I've made it the dining room because I thought that was a good idea. You know, the dining room before had absolutely zero space to eat in, so you know, the dining room earlier was way too small, so I made it super large over here, and we did some custom stuff with the lighting up there. It's kind of uneven, which kind of pisses me off. I just realized that this dining table is not in line with the doors, and then the lights aren't in line with the roof, but that's okay. Back here we have a kitchen. I think it's kind of like a divided space. I decided to put another dining room over here, and I really wanted to extend the kitchen over to this part too, but I guess I didn't because this was generally an awkward space to work with, and I think I made the most out of it. You can do all your kitchen stuff. You have your fridge, you have your stove, and then you have plenty of space to cook and do whatever, and then you have, like, I don't know about you guys, but I have two dining rooms, I guess you could say, in my house. There's like one round table and then one giant round table, and one's for like parties, and then one's for just like, you know, everyday family eating. I don't know if that's relatable, but anyways. And then we have some giant open windows in this room over here, vaulted ceiling. That light fixture is pretty wonky, but that's okay. And then over here, stepping over, nothing much has changed over here in terms of layout, at least. Like, this place is still the office. I just busted out the two walls, and then in here is still the bathroom, and then I just rearranged it a little bit and then made the walls actually extend to the ceiling. So there's not too much to look at here, but over here, actually not much has changed over here either. I just made it a better living room. The living room's literally just a vaulted ceiling and then just the furniture rearranged. Like, I kept the couch, I kept the TV, I kept the ottoman, I kept the coffee table. So there's nothing too special there, but it's one of my favorite rooms. Oops, I forgot to paint that too, but yeah, as I was saying, this was my favorite room by far. I don't know, I think it's just the way everything works in this, and then it's just a giant space. Like, over there, it's a little cluttered. I mean, I still love it, but this room is probably the best one in the entire house. But back here, we have a bedroom. It's very plain. I kind of got lazy, to be honest, but I'm also sticking to the original starter house. Why am I forgetting to paint all the ceiling? But yeah, we got one small window because that's privacy, and then we got one giant window because that's not privacy. And then back here, we have a bathroom. This is probably the most normal room in the entire house, just because it doesn't have a vaulted ceiling, and also because it's the exact same as it was before. I just added this partitioning element, and that's it. But yeah, now moving on downstairs, I gotta walk all the way to the front. I did get rid of the trapdoor back here just because I thought it was really random, and when I was building the house in the first place, it was really random as well. But anyways, walking downstairs, the entire downstairs part is really out of place to me. Like, this house just doesn't feel like it should have a downstairs, but I did it anyways because that's what Bloxburg needed. And back here used to be a bedroom, but I turned it into like this studio because I thought it was fitting for like a mid-century modern house just to have a studio. I don't know why, but this is one of the creative liberties I took, and I'm really happy with it just because it mimics a really cool studio. But anyways, walking back over here, we have the laundry machines. That's gonna be a little loud. And then back here is the other washroom downstairs, and once again, it's probably one of the most normal rooms because I haven't done anything to it. It's the exact same partitioning walls, and then blah 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 blah. And then down here, I just replaced the stair with something that's more hollow because I thought it fit the modern vibes. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Sometimes I think I'm not too good at renovations because I completely changed the entire house, but this one's good.